Everything is energy, and you control it, whether you realize it or not. Right now, your brain is filtering millions of signals. The feel of your clothes, distant sounds, subtle changes in light. This filtering helps you focus but also holds you back, keeping you stuck in patterns that limit your potential. Think about learning something new. At first it feels awkward. Your movements are stiff, your thoughts scattered. But over time, it flows effortlessly. Why? Your brain rewires itself, creating new pathways. The same principle applies to energy control. Most people have plenty of energy, they're just not using it effectively. It's like driving with the parking brake on. But what if you could release those brakes? Energy control unlocks your full potential by breaking mental barriers. It's not just theory. Scientists and high performers already use these methods. Here's an example you can try. Close your eyes, focus on your breath, and just observe. In moments, your breathing adjusts naturally. This shows how letting go of unnecessary control frees your energy, letting it flow where it's needed. Energy control teaches you to break these barriers and flow with natural forces, like surfing a wave instead of fighting it, using existing forces to your advantage. This isn't about seeing things that aren't there, but noticing what's been there all along. The techniques are straightforward, no special equipment or years of training needed. They're designed to deliver results from day one. This isn't abstract, it's practical. Athletes use it to sharpen focus, business leaders to make better decisions, and even NASA scientists to enhance problem solving. And now, so can you. These techniques don't require special equipment or years of training. They're straightforward and deliver results from day one. It's time to take control of your energy and tap into the possibilities waiting for you. Are you ready to start? Now take a moment to think of your mind as a camera lens. Right now it's on auto mode, deciding what to focus on. Energy control lets you switch to manual mode, giving you greater precision and flexibility. The results are measurable. Athletes, musicians, and business leaders use similar methods to improve performance and make clearer decisions. These techniques tap into how our brains naturally work, unlocking potential most people never access. Before we move forward, take a moment to notice your surroundings, the colors, shapes, textures. Notice how your attention jumps from one thing to another. This constant movement of attention is a tool we'll learn to direct. Mastering energy control is like training for a marathon. You start small and build gradually, making steady progress that leads to big changes. In the next steps, you'll learn to break through mental blocks and access deeper awareness. Not by forcing change, but by clearing obstacles. The techniques are simple, but the results can be profound. Your subconscious shapes how you perceive the world. Think of your brain as a supercomputer processing millions of signals every second, but only allowing a fraction into your awareness. This filtering, essential for survival, also limits what you notice. Try this. Close your eyes for 5 seconds. What sounds do you hear? Those signals were always there, but you didn't focus on them until prompted. Attention works like a spotlight, illuminating certain details while leaving others in shadow. Unlike a physical spotlight, your brain shifts focus instantly between senses: sight, sound, touch, and more. Your beliefs and experiences influence what you notice. For example, if you fear snakes, you'll spot snake-like shapes faster. Your brain creates shortcuts based on learned priorities, but these can distort reality. A banana under blue light still looks yellow because your brain knows bananas are yellow. However, you can train your brain to notice more. Athletes refine their ability to spot tiny opponent movements. Musicians detect subtle tonal shifts. Poker players read micro-expressions, and chefs develop highly sensitive palates. Across fields, focused practice sharpens perception. Your brain adapts to what you consistently focus on. At first, tasks like driving or sensing energy require effort, but with practice, your brain creates shortcuts, making them natural. Energy work follows the same pattern. What you focus on, you empower. Try this. Focus on your hands without moving them. You might feel warmth, tingling, or pulsing, sensations that were always there but unnoticed. Your brain shapes reality by filtering information. By training it, you can expand your perception and recognize what's already present. Energy work is like learning a language. At first it feels unfamiliar, but over time, patterns become clear. Each practice session strengthens your perception matrix, making energy work easier and more intuitive. And in the quantum world, energy defies daily life's rules. Particles can exist in multiple states at once, superposition, or link instantly across distances, entanglement, which Einstein called spooky action at a distance. These phenomena challenge our understanding of what's real and suggest reality may depend on observation. Quantum mechanics powers everyday technologies like phone processors, GPS, and photosynthesis. Scientists have even placed visible objects, like mirrors and bacteria, into quantum states, blurring the line between the quantum and everyday worlds. Quantum mechanics also reveals profound interconnectedness. Empty space is full of virtual particles influencing everything around them. Observation helps create the reality we perceive, suggesting the world isn't as separate as it seems. It even redefines time. Effects can precede causes, and time becomes more flexible than we typically understand. Quantum technology continues to transform fields like computing, cryptography, and sensors, proving the practical applications of these principles. But it's not just about particles. It's about the fundamental nature of reality itself, challenging and expanding our perspective. One key quantum concept is the observer effect. Observation changes what is observed. This principle applies to energy work too. Just as observing a quantum particle alters its state, focusing attention on energy influences how it moves and interacts. And in energy work, attention is powerful. When you focus on energy, you're not just observing, you're actively participating. Your observation bridges the connection between you and the energy, influencing how it moves and changes. The fact that observation affects energy isn't a problem. It's a powerful tool. When you focus on a sensation, like energy in your hands, you're already helping to create it. Your expectation shapes what happens. This raises an important question. If observation changes what we see, what's real? The answer: everything we observe is real, but influenced by our perception. It's a dynamic exchange. Consider watching a sunset. The colors and emotions it stirs come from both the sunset itself and how you choose to experience it. Your mood, thoughts, and focus shape its meaning. In energy work, the same applies. Observing peace helps create peace. Focusing on strength draws strength forward. The observer effect reminds us of the responsibility in our practice. What we focus on grows stronger. This doesn't mean we're imagining things. We're active participants in reality, not passive observers. In energy work, you're both the observer and part of what you're observing, like being both the photographer and part of the photo. In practice, notice how your expectations shape your experience. Are you seeking warmth, tingling, or movement? Your focus influences what you feel. This isn't wrong. It's natural and beneficial when used wisely. Pure objectivity doesn't exist. Every observation carries your influence. Recognizing this is both a challenge and an opportunity. For beginners, this might feel strange. How can you trust an experience you're helping create? The key is focusing on results, not perfect observation. If your practice leads to growth or healing, it's working. Like learning to ride a bike, the goal isn't perfection, but staying in motion and reaching your destination. The observer effect teaches us to embrace our role as participants in our experiences. When we stop resisting our influence, we can use it effectively. Attention is a tool, and knowing how it affects energy allows us to guide it more purposefully. This understanding sets the stage for breaking old patterns and exploring new possibilities. The illusion of separation between observer and observed is about to dissolve, revealing deeper ways to work with energy. Most of us were taught that energy simply flows, like electricity through wires. This explanation feels intuitive, but is incomplete. When you flip a light switch, it seems energy travels from the power plant to your home, lighting the bulb. In reality, this is just a story we tell to simplify a much larger, interconnected process. The truth about energy is surprising. It doesn't flow anywhere. It's everywhere all the time. What we call energy transfer is actually a chain reaction of energy states shifting. A power plant doesn't send energy to your home. It creates a disturbance in the energy field, rippling through the grid to your light bulb. This shift in understanding is profound. Energy isn't something moving from place to place, it's the very fabric of existence, constantly changing states. Matter itself is dense, stable energy. Heat, for example, doesn't rise as a substance. It spreads as energy-seeking balance. When you feel warmth near a hot object, you're sensing your own energy state adjusting to the surrounding molecules. All energy forms work this way. Sound is pressure patterns in the existing energy field. Light ripples in the electromagnetic field that permeates space. Even gravity isn't a pulling force, but the curvature of space-time guiding energy toward equilibrium. Chemical reactions, too, are just energy reorganizing within molecules to find balance. This understanding changes how we work with energy. Instead of trying to push or move it, we can focus on altering energy states, like guiding water through dams rather than carrying it in buckets. It's more efficient and natural. The observer effect shows that we're not separate from energy, but part of the same field. Every time we observe or interact with energy, we influence it. This isn't just theory, it has real uses. Solar panels, batteries, and machines work better when they align with energy's natural patterns. Letting go of old ideas about energy takes practice. Energy doesn't flow as we imagine. It's part of a connected system. Once you see energy as a unified field, it changes how you work with it. Instead of forcing movement, focus on how energy shifts naturally. This shift in perspective unlocks new possibilities. By working with energy's natural patterns, we create the right conditions for smooth, effortless changes. Seeing energy as one connected system isn't just a new idea. It's the key to its true potential. Your brain works in a similar way. Through practice and neuroplasticity, it builds new pathways, replacing limits with expanded abilities to sense and use energy. Think of your comfort zone as a starting point, not a prison. Each step outside expands it, fading the walls that once seemed unbreakable. What felt impossible starts to become achievable. But be aware, your mind often tries to rebuild those walls with thoughts like, "That was just luck," or "This is too hard." These are echoes of old limitations. Look at children playing. They embrace limitless possibilities, becoming astronauts, doctors, or pirates, without doubt. That same freedom exists within you, hidden behind walls of self-doubt. Your brain filters reality based on what you expect to see. If you believe something is impossible, you may miss opportunities right in front of you. It's like wearing sunglasses indoors and wondering why everything looks dark. Your true limits lie far beyond what your mind tells you. Those who achieve the impossible face the same mental walls but choose to push through. Remember, the prison guards are your own thoughts, fear, doubt, and habit, but you hold the key. With small, brave actions, you can tear down these paper-thin barriers and discover possibilities hidden from view. This isn't about blind positivity, but accurate thinking. Seeing things as they are, not as your fears paint them. Notice opportunities your mind might be filtering out. Each step you take outside your mental prison shows you more of what's possible. Imagine a quantum mirror that reflects not just you, but the infinite ways energy moves. It shows patterns like heat rising as waves, or electrical signals pulsing through your nerves. This mirror doesn't just show the present, it reveals possibilities. Like ripples in a pond, small energy shifts create countless pathways for the future. Here's the strange part. The quantum mirror changes energy too. Scientists found that observing quantum particles alters their behavior. In this world, a ball doesn't land in one spot. It could be in many places, and observation forces it to choose. The mirror teaches us that we're part of energy's flow, not separate from it. Every time we observe or interact, we influence the system. This explains why controlling energy doesn't always work as expected. We're part of the very system we're affecting. Practitioners use this insight to work with energy's natural flow instead of forcing it. Like water flowing downhill, sometimes the best approach is to step back and let energy find its path. The mirror also reshapes how we see time. Energy spreads in all directions, connecting the past and future. By observing its patterns, we can make small adjustments that lead to big effects, like finding the perfect spot on a crystal glass to make it sing. When we look for chaos in the quantum mirror, we often find order. Nature's patterns, like fractals or birds flying in formation, reveal guiding principles rather than strict rules. The quantum mirror isn't a physical object, it's a perspective. It shows how deeply we're connected to energy, reflecting our role in the flow of cause and effect. This shifts how we work with energy. Instead of trying to control it as something separate, we flow with it, like a leaf carried by a river. We can guide our path but remain part of the current. The next time you work with energy, imagine the quantum mirror. See the possibilities around you and notice how your attention influences what you observe. You're not just watching energy, you're part of its dance. This truth extends to daily life. Observation changes what we see. A child plays freely until they notice they're being watched. Their behavior shifts. Similarly, focusing on thoughts, feelings, or actions transforms them. Awareness changes everything. Scientists discovered the observer effect while studying particles. Measuring a particle's position affected its speed, and measuring its speed changed its position. You couldn't know both at once. The tools of observation altered the object being observed. This isn't just physics, it's how we experience life. When you're angry and notice, "I am feeling angry," the emotion doesn't vanish, but your relationship to it shifts. You're no longer fully identified with the anger. This awareness creates a gap between stimulus and response, where freedom to choose differently lies. Worry often spirals from one fear to another, but catching the pattern early can break the cycle. The same applies to physical tension. Tight shoulders or a clenched jaw ease as soon as we notice them. Awareness is the key to change. We can't observe everything at once, but we can shift focus, like adjusting a camera lens. Want to break a habit? Notice its triggers. Improve relationships? Observe communication patterns. Neutral, non-judgmental awareness allows natural shifts, whether subtle or transformative. The observer effect isn't just science, it's practical. By choosing what to focus on, we can guide our lives instead of being shaped by habits. Even our mental movies shape reality. If you imagine walking into a room feeling judged, your body tenses. Reimagine walking in confidently and you relax. These projections influence how you experience the moment. Our mental movies often run on autopilot, but we can direct them. When a negative movie plays, like imagining a failed presentation, pause it. Replace it with a scene where you speak clearly and the audience listens. The goal isn't forced positivity, but awareness and adjustment to align your energy. Your brain responds to mental rehearsal almost as if the event were real. Athletes, musicians, and speakers use this technique to enhance performance. And you can too by vividly imagining the outcomes you want. Create realistic mental movies your brain accepts. Don't visualize perfection right away. See yourself improving step by step, overcoming challenges. If you usually imagine failure, adjust the movie to show yourself handling things well enough, even if not perfectly. The more senses you involve, the more real it feels to your brain. Practicing supportive mental movies calms your nervous system, shifts your body language, and aligns your reality with your mindset. Instead of wasting energy on worry and disaster scenarios, use that mental power to create helpful outcomes. Catch negative movies and rewrite them. Over time, this becomes second nature. Your mind will keep producing automatic movies based on old patterns, but with practice, you can notice and replace them, building a bridge from where you are to where you want to be, one scene at a time. Beneath your thoughts and stories is a deeper presence, the part of you that observes it all. When you connect with this awareness, you realize your thoughts aren't as solid or serious as they seem. This perspective lets you engage with your thoughts without losing sight of your true self. Imagine sitting in a movie theater. You see happy, scary, or exciting scenes, but you remain unaffected. You're just watching. Similarly, your thoughts are like a movie, and you are the awareness observing them. This awareness is constant, noticing your breath, sounds, and sensations, while thoughts come and go like passing clouds. When you mistake yourself for your thoughts, worries, regrets, or plans, you suffer unnecessarily. But these thoughts are temporary, appearing within awareness. Right now, you can observe a thought or sensation and see it for what it is, a fleeting experience in the presence of awareness. This isn't abstract, it's immediate. You don't need special techniques to notice it. When you see yourself as awareness, thoughts lose their weight and life flows more naturally from a state of peace. Awareness doesn't mean passivity or escaping reality. Actions still happen, but they flow from awareness, not a defensive self. Problems don't disappear, but they feel lighter within the calm, expansive state of awareness. This is your natural state. You don't need to achieve it, just recognize it. Right now, notice, what is aware of these words? What remains when thoughts pause? That awareness is what you are. Everything else, thoughts, feelings, perceptions, comes and goes within it. Our minds create a filtered reality based on past experiences and beliefs. Like a movie, we get caught up in the story, even though it's just a projection. For example, when you see a tree, you don't see the tree itself, but your brain's interpretation of light patterns and your concept of tree. Emotions work the same way, shaped by personal history. Someone not waving back might feel like rejection, even if they didn't see you. These mental constructs help us navigate life, but can also trap us. Stories like, "I'm unlucky in love," or "I'm bad at math," feel real because we repeat them, but they're just thoughts. Social media deepens this illusion, showing curated lives we compare to our unfiltered reality. Even time and money are collective constructs we've agreed upon. Breaking free doesn't mean rejecting illusions, but recognizing them as mental creations, not absolute truths. Like waking from a dream, awareness reveals a broader reality. This realization frees us to question and change self-imposed limits. If our minds created these patterns, they can create new ones too. Understanding this shifts power back to us. Fears and anxieties lose their grip when we see them as mental constructs, not unchangeable truths. Experiences feel real, but knowing they're shaped by our minds gives us the power to reshape them. Awareness creates space for growth, whether we're caught up in the drama or step back to see it as a performance. Awakening happens differently for everyone, suddenly or gradually. Once it happens, you can't unsee it. You start asking, why do I believe this? Who benefits from my belief? What would change if I thought differently? These questions break illusions and let truth in. We've been conditioned to accept what we're told, distracted by media, and rewarded for compliance. Yet true freedom comes from reclaiming your thoughts, choices, and power. Start small, question a belief today, change a habit tomorrow. Each step rebuilds the strength and creativity you've forgotten. Awakening brings responsibility. Once you see the truth, you can't return to blind acceptance. Others may resist your change, but standing firm in your truth with calm certainty inspires them more than argument ever could. This journey is ongoing. Each step reveals more of your potential as a creator, capable of shaping reality itself. A truth often hidden because it threatens those who profit from our ignorance. Trust your inner voice, follow its guidance, and step into your power. Together we can build a life rooted in truth, freedom, and authentic connection.